fridge is so heavy, I wish I had an army of vegetable creatures to help me lift it.
So, yeah, pretty bizarre concept, but this did come from the man who graces the stage at E3 with a sword and shield at every given opportunity. So, I honestly don't know what I expected. Pikmin is a puzzle strategy game released for, you guessed it, the Nintendo GameCube in 2001. It received really positive reviews on release, and has had a re-release in the form of what we bought that is actually much better, but I don't have it, so... GameCube time! The game begins with our hero journeying through space.
And he's just fine. Yeah.
Seriously? First Sonic and now this. I can't even get out of bed without my ankles shattering under the weight of my own existence, and here's Olimar making the 9/11 jumpers look like fucking pussies. Well, this is kinda cute, and honestly, for early GameCube, these graphics are absolutely gorgeous. The music is nice too, soothing melodies to go along with the imminent danger you're currently in. Let's go exploring!
Now, generally speaking, a big red bulbous thing on a planet that I've never been to before would be something to stay away from. But luckily for me, video games are all about living out your wildest fantasies. So, let's go check it out.
Gameplay is constantly interrupted by these Captain Notes type deal. They're pretty charming and they do a good job of teaching the mechanics of the game in manageable chunks. Pretty neat for a my first strategy game. Although when they're constantly popping up right at the end of the game, it's pretty frustrating. Yes, you've made a shocking discovery that you can only have 100 Pikmin on the field for the 5th time! Did you hit your head a little hard on that fall, Olimar? You already fucking said this. Stop staring at me like that. Get away from me. Demon! Demon! So, these are the Pikmin. They come in a variety of colours. Red, yellow, blue, red, and they all stare at you like that creepy uncle that spends just a little bit too much time with you at Christmas. I gotta say though, they're kinda cute, and each colour has a distinctive facial feature, and they all come with unique abilities. The red are stronger and resist fire, blue can breathe underwater, and yellow can carry bombs and be thrown higher. Because the point of this game is to throw your army of geriatric patients at items and enemies. They'll attack and carry whatever they're close to.
Oh, how convenient that the one part that you actually need landed just a cardboard box away from where you crash landed and absolutely should have died.
Speaking of convenient, handy that the number of Pikmin needed is printed on this oversized cardboard box. The Pikmin take the engine to the ship, magic happens, and I mean literal magic. How the fuck does it just fit in like that? And you blast off into orbit around the planet. Okay, on to the next level, and a slightly smoother landing this time around. There are these gates now that need destroying. The more Pikmin you throw on, the faster it'll go down. So, here are the Bulborbs, a basic enemy type. They'll munch on your little helpers, so you want to dispatch them as quickly as possible so you don't sustain serious losses to your workforce. Now I'm starting to get the idea. You need to manage and grow your Pikmin population while making sure you're constantly working on exploring the area and recovering ship parts. It's pretty cool in all honesty, and at the start of every day you're bound to sit down and plan what you're going to do. Obviously the end goal here is to recover all of your ship parts, and you only have 30 days to do it, due to the fact that the environment is more toxic than a quick Sonic search on DeviantArt. Oh my beautiful blue saviour. This time restriction will only be a real issue if you were dropped on your head at birth. It's really not that challenging. The way you go about this is the Pikmin, and you'll need a good number of each colour sustained throughout the game in order to make sure you're never totally stumped.
Slaving a population is a lot harder than I imagined it would be. People don't give the British Empire enough credit in this regard.
You can't control the Pikmin directly. You use the controller to tell Olimar to tell the Pikmin what to do, like Chinese whispers, but with vegetables. A to throw, B to whistle, and call them to you, X dismisses them and separates them into different groups based on their colour, as all society should do. Like I said before, this all works better with the motion controls on Wii, but it is perfectly serviceable with a GameCube controller. What's also impressive is having 100 characters on screen at a time, each acting independently. Pikmin can trip over, get distracted, and can just wander off from the group. From a technical point of view, this is really neat.
Fall back in line, Vegetable Demon. I need you to get this radar back to the ship.
Your Pikmin are never safe. They can drown, burn, or be eaten by the various creatures that inhabit this world. It's always harrowing hearing the screams of your slave force as they perish at the hands of nature. It's a tough world out there. Better prepare yourself. When they die, you see their little soul fly off. Yet another punishment for letting a Pikmin fall. Honestly, due to the cuteness of the Pikmin and the shocking way in which they do die, you feel the need to preserve and save them. I have to help them survive. Maybe it's me that's being used. There are plenty of branching paths here, and although the world is small, it's really satisfying to explore every corner for ship parts and ways to increase your Pikmin population. You'll revisit each level multiple times, doing different things each day, tackling mini-bosses, going after different ship parts that require different combinations of Pikmin. There are 5 levels in the game total. The Impact Site, where you meet the Reds, Forest of Hope, where you meet the Yellows, the Forest Naval, where you meet the Blues, and Distant Springs, where you meet Hopelessness, Despair, and Misery, my personal favourite companions. There's also a final level called The Final Trial, imaginative, I know, where you face off against the toughest enemy yet. It's okay. The combat is as deep as mash A to throw Pikmin at the enemy, so they can't really do anything too off the wall. That's not to say the enemies aren't a challenge or aren't unique. Each enemy has something different that is required to beat them. Airborne enemies can be knocked down to the ground and swarmed using the C-stick, so you can weigh them down and stop them getting back up. Fire enemies require the red Pikmin to reliably defeat. Some enemies crush, eat, or simply blow your Pikmin away. There's a great deal of variety here. You never really know what you're going to come up against next. Despite these constant threats and the fact that the game is constantly hammering in that time limit, the music and the scenery is very clearly indicating that this should be a relaxing experience. Everything is beautiful and soothing, and then you get munched on by a giant ladybird creature, and what the fuck is this game? It is a lot of fun, but there are downsides. Pikmin are easily distracted and will often fall over, leading to constant waiting and backtracking to pick up the stragglers. I know this was intentional, but it doesn't make these mechanics any less frustrating. Similarly, especially in Distant Springs, leaving one group on a task while you go manage another group is bound to end in pain and misery. Again, intentional, I know, but the whole premise of the game is micromanaging these tasks. Why are you punishing me for it? How was I supposed to know that the Pikmin would want to take a detour and look at this deadly-ass yellow frog, rather than making a beeline to the ship? Nah, I'm done. Just gonna lay down and accept my fate. Oh look, that's adorable. They carry you to the ship. No, wait, the onion? I don't want to be a Pikmin! Don't make me go in there! Oh, fireworks.
Ooh, pretty. Also, did you just try and turn me into a Pikmin? This game is fucking brutal.
After collecting all of your ship parts, the game ends, you say goodbye to your Pikmin, and take off back into the cosmos. It was quite a journey, but it's a relief that it's over now.
So, Pikmin was pretty great. It's generally quite a relaxing, good time, although it does have some major flaws. It can get pretty frustrating at times, and maybe the environments aren't quite as varied as I would like. The biggest issue really is the game's length. You can do it all in 3-4 hours just in one sitting. It's not the longest game in the world. Pikmin 2 does improve on this, but that's not what we're talking about. Still, this game deserves a solid 12 out of 5. And now there's only one thing left to do. Nintendo, give me Pikmin 4 on the Switch. Please, 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 I've been such a good boy, please!